Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What would you say if I told you there's a book that can teach you how to win The Bachelor?
What would you say if I told you producers caught multiple finalists reading that book in this season that's currently airing?
What would you say if I told you the producers don't want anyone to know that their show has been compromised?
How do we know all this? We wrote that book.
I'm Lizzie Pace.
And I'm Chad Kulchin.
We're the authors of How to Win the Bachelor and the hosts of the Game of Roses podcast, a bi-weekly podcast where we break down all the biggest plays, errors, and MVPs in the game of reality television.
Listen to Game of Roses wherever you get your podcasts and go to howtowinthebachelor.com to get our book.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Hi, Dave here, and I'm with my wife, Cathy.
Hello.
And you're listening to the Cinemile, the podcast where we walk home from the movies. We're joined today by a very special guest, our friend Nick. Hello, Nick. Now's when you talk.
Oh, sorry, I thought that would be really funny. Hello.
Are you pranking us?
David.
Are you pranking this podcast?
It's my third time. I'm getting cocky now.
Yeah, and you... So, last time you came on was for Geostorm that you and Cathy went to? Or was it...
Last time was for The Favourite.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, so quite a selection. Well, we are...
It's quite the scale.
We brought you back today because...
I'm your Gerard Butler correspondent.
You've seen Geostorm, exactly. Yeah. You're our Gerard Butler guy.
I follow his career closely.
Clearly.
So I've been looking forward to this a lot. I'm almost completely clear on what the name of the film is.
We are going to see Angel Has Fallen, the third in the Has Fallen trilogy, which started with, I want to say, POTUS Has Fallen? No, it's the code name
Olympus.
for... Olympus,
No.
yeah.
Or was that the second one?
No, you're
White
right.
House Down.
It may as well have been White House
Remember
Down.
White House Down and whatever that one, Fallen, came out at the same time and it was the same movie?
Yes,
and we watched them both.
That's the phenomenon of like twin movies that come out, like A Bug's Life and Ants and Volcano and Dante's Peak.
That's why they weren't as successful as they could otherwise have been.
Oh yeah, that's the reason, for sure. What's your relationship with the Has Fallen trilogy?
I'm a little bit upset because I thought that this was about Air Force One, because Angel is the codename for was the codename for Air Force One, and I am 100% on board with any film or TV show that involves Air Force One.
Have you ever seen that movie, Air Force One?
No, I've never heard of it. Yes, and Glenn Close in that. This is just a shout out for Mike. How the hell did they get Air Force One? So that was So I'm a bit upset because it's got nothing to do with Air Force One.
Impression?
That was Glenn Close impression.
That was pretty good.
Good, right?
So what does Angel in this context mean then?
Wait, no.
know.
I don't. Oh yeah, I was going to say don't tell us because I thought we could all guess because I don't know either.
Well, we can't guess that. The second one was
London.
London Has Fallen,
which is, I believe, is a code name for the capital city of England.
And this one, Angel Has Fallen. About a year ago, I was in Virginia Water.
The plane, that would make complete sense.
So is it definitely not Air Force One?
No.
Okay. What's the code name for Air Force One then?
I think it's Angel.
Oh, so it is Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, you did just say that.
But a year ago, I was in Virginia Water and I saw them filming some of this movie.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. Was Air Force One there? Was there a life-size version of Air
Watch out
Force
for Virginia Water. But the reason Nick came on for Geostorm, aside from his great love and affection for Gerard Butler, was that he is an emergency planner and he knows how to deal with emergencies. So Nick, whatever the emergency in this movie is, we need you to critique how they deal with it.
No problem. I will. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I like how you just said, "Oh yeah," as if you just remembered your own career.
Yeah, you get the best. You get the best of me.
All right. So I'm just gonna say it sounds like Air Force One is what falls.
No, I've watched the trailer. I've watched the trailer.
No spoilers, because we haven't seen the trailer.
Okay, no spoilers, but, the spoiler I've already done is that there ain't no plane in it, no.
Ain't no plane. Okay, so hang on. So what else could Angel refer to? I'm going to throw it out there. Nuclear warhead.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say...
The nuclear warhead has fallen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say, like, Los Angeles. If the last one was London.
Oh, that is City of Angels, isn't it?
But cities don't... Oh,
well, London fell, according to the last... I didn't see the middle movie. I've seen the first one, I haven't seen
London
the second
fell hard.
Did you see it? London
yeah, I did
okay,
see it.
we skipped that one. I forgot to say, I have saw Olympus Has Fallen. I have saw Olympus Has Fallen on a plane.
Same. We watched it at the same time.
You watched it on a
Guess what we did? Dave and I both said, let's watch it at the same time. We were flying back from Australia. And
so that we can talk.
And we were like,
so we can comment on it.
what time cut are you at? What time cut are you at? When every one of us paused.
Yeah, you're not allowed
And the
to
guy
pause.
next to us literally at one point went, for fuck's sake. Because we were being so annoying.
You actually passed
Also,
comment.
because as we are wont to do, all we did was like talk about the movie throughout it and like comment on the movie.
That guy got a prototype of the Cinemile podcast and he didn't even know it.
And it was, I didn't love it the way, like Geostorm I thoroughly kind of enjoyed when we went to see it. This one I remember thinking like it was a bit try-hard or something.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the Olympus Has Fallen. I wanted a Geostorm, and I haven't even seen Geostorm, but I know it's what I want.
Oh yeah, it's always what
I
you want.
wanted a movie that's so bad and stupid and revels in its own stupidness.
Like when Gerard
and
Butler
cheesiness.
flies down from space to attend court.
Yeah, and he says,
late.
"Sorry, I'm late.
Yeah.
I came from space."
No, he
I
came.
saw that
Do you
in
know
the
what's
trailer.
really annoying about that? He said I came from outer space, and it's like, you mean like low orbit? It's kind of.
But this Olympus Has Fallen was kind of a bit too. It thought it was a better movie than it was, and it was like, we are a serious action movie.
Yeah.
That can really contend
This
with
is a
Die
serious
Hard.
plot. This is not.
Yeah, oh,
you
yeah.
know, this is
Yeah.
not a back of a fag
We're
packet.
not fucking around here, guys. Olympus has fallen.
There's Oscar buzz.
But do you remember how much, and like I don't mind bad language and like I am one to swear, but I explicitly remember being like, this way too much. There was so much bad language in the movie that like Gerard Butler barely spoke English. He was just
all right.
cursing.
I felt the same way, and I'll tell you.
Well, when we commented a lot about it on that plane journey.
I'll tell you
As we
the
paused
issue, right?
it.
The issue is, it actually requires a certain skill to write bad language or curse words in a movie. Like Quentin Tarantino is a master at that, and stand-up comedians either have this finesse or they don't. This Olympus Has Fallen felt like a 13-year-old had been given the script and said, you can say any bad words you want. And just like, and also we have an R rating, so they just went F word, F word, F word every second. So it just felt like, try hard, like you said, Cathy.
Yeah, it was a bit gratuitous. I remember with The London Has Fallen, it was just with my work hat on, I was just like, no, I think I'm switching my phone off now, because it's just like, it was just, London really did kind of.
Is that how it would go? If London
I'll
fell,
switch my phone off.
is that how it would happen?
Well, I mean, there's a limit, Dave. I think, like, you know, there's a limit. I mean,
Well,
Did you come out of that movie, Nick, and instantly like get on the conference call, like, guys, we hadn't planned for this.
Yeah.
I've just seen exactly how it could go.
All I'm hoping with this movie is that it's not obvious within the first 5 minutes who the bad guy is, like it was in Geostorm.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same theme, but it's still Gerard Butler, and I'm
Okay.
assuming it's going to be the same sort of genre, because isn't that basically what he does now?
Yeah, there'll be a twist. There'll be a
I just
twist.
can't wait to see
villain.
Gerard Butler. Like, I just really enjoy him. He literally doesn't give a F-U-C-K. I'm not going to curse now because I just gave out about cursing. He doesn't care. He just rocks up, has an absolute laugh, and then leaves again.
Yeah, I really admire
Yeah.
him and his sort of careless handling of his own career. He's like, but it's great. He's like Nicolas Cage, but without the sort of Oscar groundwork.
Without the talent.
He just went right into the late stage Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage
Why not?
career.
Like, he'd be paid millions of dollars to do this franchise, and then he can just go off and like surf or whatever.
Yeah, once a year,
100%.
once a year, he puts his margarita down. He gets off his sun lounger, hops on a plane to Shepperton, and then
asks the question, what has fallen now?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Let's go.
and just green screen, bam, and the rest is done in post production.
Few scenes of Virginia Water Lake, but we have to go because we need to get pizza.
Yeah,
before
we're
this
here now.
movie.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
see on the other side of Angel Has Fallen when we will find out what Angel is and how it has fallen.
Yeah.
God help us all.
There's been an assassination attempt on the president.
Mike Banning, you're being charged with the attempted murder of the President of the United States.
The president's top guardian angel has fallen.
Can't you see that I'm being set up?
You have a collect call from
Mike.
We've been getting death threats.
There's somebody else behind us. It wasn't me. The president's not safe. They're gonna try and finish the job. And I'm not gonna stop until I prove who did this. I love you.
How did you find me?
I want security for the president. How do you think, Dad? I need your help. We gotta get out of here.
I ain't going nowhere. You can't hide from us, Banning.
Don't worry about finding me. find you. Listen to me. We're gonna make a move. Now people are gonna fall, but not you.
Right, we're out. We just saw Angel Has Fallen, and we can now answer who it was that Angel was. It's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, right? Is it in the trailer, Nick? You've seen it?
There's no plane in the trailer and there's no plane in the film, I can confirm that. There's no Air Force One for sure. So if you go in expecting Air Force One for the 21st century, then...
Maybe we'll just save it for spoiler street.
The angel was the president's guardian angel, and that's all you need to know.
You can pretty much join the dots there, like you will in this movie from 5 minutes in.
Yeah. 5 minutes in, Nick turned to me and mouthed "baddie" about somebody, and yes, he was the baddie.
I did that.
Did you as well?
Oh wait, no, did I? Oh no, I said training exercise.
Yeah.
And yep, I was right. Yeah, that guy may as well have had a bad guy tattooed on his face.
I was thinking, how do you do spoiler street for this? Because within the first 3 minutes, we talked about the swearing going in, and then literally within the first couple of seconds,
the first line was, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Or,
but
you call that a fucking training exercise?
But did you notice that actually after that point, the swearing greatly diminished, and there was barely any compared to the last movie that we saw?
No, there's a moment.
You tuned out, Cathy.
You're wrong, Cathy.
Throughout.
Every second word is fuck, and the only adjective used in this movie is fucking.
Anyway,
as in,
onto
what
the movie.
fucking hell? Gerard Butler, when asking people to evacuate a building, says, "Go, everyone, get out of here. It's not safe." Get the fuck out of here!
But in fairness, people should have really been evacuating. They're just watching it. But Nick,
you can't evacuate a hospital.
All right.
They evacuated it really quickly.
You literally can't. You can't do it. What do you do when you're in like a 17-hour surgery with the thing? Like it just doesn't happen.
You put the knife down. You put the scalpel down.
What? Just say.
And you make a break for the exit.
You shake them awake and go, "We're just going to pop off."
Yeah.
Yeah. You stay there.
Anyway, Nick, what did you think of the movie?
Do you know what? I actually really quite enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't at all what I expected. I thought it was going to be a gratuitous... Well, first of all, I thought it was going to be Air Force One remake, but I thought it was going to be gratuitous and sort of explosions and all sorts, and there was that, but actually, I can't remember I'm going to say this, but it was slightly subtler than I thought.
What? Yeah, it was.
No, because at least it wasn't just, let's just watch the White House just get blown to shit, or watch London get blown to shit. It was actually, there was a bit of they were giving it a red hot go to get a story going through.
Oh yeah, it's really cerebral.
Yeah.
It's a thinking man's action movie.
It's like the West Wing, but with guns.
Honestly, I agree with Nick, right? Obviously, a huge caveat here, for the sort of movie it is, which is an action blockbuster with
Gerard Butler.
I was about to say Gerard Depardieu.
He'd be good in this role. I'd watch that.
It was way better than I expected it to be because, first of all, I find the plot more interesting when it's just like man on the run instead of, like Nick said, a city being blown up.
Hey, can I just say as well, sorry to interrupt you, Cathy, because Cathy's like, the one thing don't do is just don't keep interrupting. Don't talk over it. But the... shit, I've completely forgotten my point.
You forgot your point.
I'm so glad you interrupted me.
This is why you bring me back, because I'm just so damn good. No, I've completely forgotten my point.
You forgot your point mid-sentence.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. But honestly, it was better than I thought it would be too. I thought Gerard Butler was actually very good in it. And I think Nick Nolte deserves a bloody Oscar nomination.
Was that who it was?
He made me cry. He was so good in this movie.
Yeah,
Nick Nolte, and we won't say who he plays, but honestly, he put in a lovely performance that completely elevated the movie, frankly.
Agreed.
And then you've got Morgan Freeman. So for a cast, it's a really good cast. And like, not getting to spoiler street, but again, caveat, it's a silly action movie, but it was definitely better than it deserved to be.
Guys, what, did you see a different movie to me? Because that fucking movie was a piece of fucking shit. That's the worst fucking piece of shit fucking prick movie I've ever seen.
I actually told Dave off recently for cursing too much in the podcast.
No.
Hey, I was being ironic.
Yeah, well, you may be being ironic, but you're still cursing heavily.
What did you think, Dave?
I thought it was really bad. I thought it was awful. I thought it was really boring. I thought it...
Dave, what about the subtlety?
Maybe the movie is so subtle it was lost on me. Like, I couldn't...
Dave, I don't think your intellect is high enough for this movie.
Like, this...
God, Dave, it just went straight in your head, didn't it, buddy?
Nick's getting to come to the patented bit of the podcast where we take money out for our babysitter.
And sound effect ATM noises...
And that's not making...
Cathy says her PIN number out loud. No, this movie, I, like, within 10 minutes, had in my head, like, you know, you watch a movie and you're like,
Sketched
oh, maybe,
it out.
yeah, you
Yeah.
sketch it.
Yeah.
I had the blueprints of this movie. 10 minutes in, and it didn't. Not 1 minute did it surprise me.
Except for Nick Nolte, surely that was a surprise.
Nick Nolte
Unless
showing
he's
up
in
was
the
a surprise,
trailer.
and I agree he's very good. I don't agree that he deserves a Best Supporting Actor.
I didn't use the word
Oscar
supporting.
nomination. Oh, lead! You think he deserves the lead? So I find, Nick Nolte was the only one actually acting in here. I'm sorry, I know you listed off. You listed off an amazing cast.
I didn't
there.
list off an amazing cast. I said Morgan Freeman and
Morgan
Nick Nolte.
Freeman is doing nothing.
Morgan
He's
Freeman is
sleeping.
initially
He's
asleep.
literally sleeping through this role. He's asleep for most of this movie, and even when he's awake,
in his sleep, he's a good
asleep.
actor.
Do you know what happened? They went. He was like, no, you have to come back. He's like, I'm not coming back. He's just like, no, well, you contractually obligated to come back. He's like, all right, I'll come back, but I'm just going to be in bed the whole time.
I want to be asleep for all of my scenes.
But he acts sleep really well.
Oh, he's so good at that. The only good thing about Morgan Freeman in this movie was imagining if Morgan Freeman was president, and that's a world I want to live in.
He was a lovely president. It's interesting that, like, because obviously there's not much positive vibes, well, from us towards the current American president. But it's interesting that to kind of... It's an interesting movie because the kind of movie that was really big in its day, you know, when like the American president was really noble and the thought of someone trying to kill him was awful.
Air Force One. You were talking about it earlier.
But in order for them to make us sympathetic towards the president in this one, what they did was make the president like a pacifist, and also asleep a lot. But that was really the only way to get us interested because he was actively anti-violence, and I thought that was a good move on their part.
Guys, this was I wanted to be asleep like Morgan Freeman. I was looking at him being he's having a better time in this movie than I am.
Dave, you claim you wanted to be asleep and you were happily drinking beer and eating pizza, so I disagree strongly.
Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, that's not reflective of the quality of the movie. I had a lovely cinema-going experience as watching this paint-by-numbers thing just happen before my eyes. But this is my problem. The action scenes weren't even good or interesting.
I thought they were good.
Gerard Butler is not like a charming leading man.
Oh my God, harsh.
He's not.
I think he's really
he actually
charming.
has. I'd rather watch The Rock in this role. The Rock, and anytime Gerard Butler attempts humour, which is few and far between in this movie, it falls ridiculously flat. And particularly in the final scene, which we'll talk about in the spoiler stream.
That wasn't Gerard Butler's fault, though. That was an awful scene. Like,
okay,
that's no actor's fault.
Can we cut to spoiler street?
Yeah, we cut
All
to
right.
spoiler street. Okay, and before we're not going straight to the end scene, right? I want to say
spoilers now for Angel Has Fallen.
Spoilers for Angel Has Fallen. Honestly, I was enjoying the kind of introspection of Gerard Butler's character and like the kind of internal battle he was having of he wants to.
What movie did you guys see?
His wife, he's had a wife and kid, right? Presumably since the last movie. I haven't seen the last movie.
Nick, did he have a wife and kid in that movie?
Pass.
Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean the kid's pretty new, right? She's like a toddler.
Yeah.
And basically,
she was brilliant. She was doing more work in this than Morgan Freeman.
The wife was basically like, oh, you know, like she wants him to take this desk job, and he's like, but I want to be on the field. But he's like kind of addicted to prescription painkillers, and it's kind of dark that he's basically admitting that he would rather like be on the field and putting his life at risk than having a desk job, despite the fact that he now has this family, right? To the point where he gets offered the desk job and he like turns down, and he's like constantly chasing this high. And then you know he gets to meet his dad, the wonderful Nick Nolte, in his Oscar-turning performance as Gerard Butler's dad. And
he'll go down in history for this role.
But anyway, and then he meets the dad, and like the dad's all fucked up from like Vietnam. And like I thought, oh my God, there's actually going to be real character development here. And then Gerard Butler, I think fair enough for the movie, goes back, saves the president, does his thing. And then I just got really annoyed because it's like, okay, Gerard Butler, you've saved the president, you've cleared your name. Now go home. He willingly goes up on a roof and throws himself in the face of violence and like basically puts his life at risk to kill someone who was either going to die or get arrested anyway. And I thought, you've learned nothing from this movie.
But he's
and
the only one who could save the president.
No, but I'm saying after he'd saved the president, he just wanted to be in a fist fight with his friend.
Oh yeah,
the
that
baddie.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's the bit that annoyed me because I think the movie could have gone a bit deeper there.
But why? Sorry, on that point,
I just think at the ending they threw away the ending because Gerard Butler should have been like, actually, no, we'll settle this in a court of law. You're going to get arrested.
Sorry, what?
And I'm going to go home to my
you in
life.
court, you motherfucker.
Gerard Butler shot down the helicopter, right? Your man had no means of escape.
Yeah.
So he should have just left him there.
Oh, on
Instead
that.
he takes out and has like a knife fight with him.
On that, I'm sorry, but it was all going on. They'd blown at the hospital next door. Then obviously the president was in there, and they had gunmen and everything on their way. But no problem. Yeah, chopper, go on through. Yeah, no, wave him through. No problem.
Yeah.
There's no air control or whatever. But it's like, oh look, does anyone else see that helicopter going for the roof? Like, what the hell?
And then after all the action has happened, which has lasted in the equivalent of 45 minutes, or at least that's what it felt like, the Air Force arrives. In the fastest jets on the planet.
Yeah.
They arrive.
They do a really
and then the
helpful
military
flyby.
arrive.
And they weren't far from Washington or anything like.
Where was the backup? Where was anybody? It was like an open attack on a hospital in the middle of a busy city in Washington DC, and there's nobody to help except Gerard Butler.
What about when Morgan Freeman woke up from first of all, he's clearly like 80, right? He wakes up from a coma. He's untubated, which I've never heard before. He's just gone into a wheelchair. Then they ram him into this car he's being shot at. Next minute he's running. I'm like, no, this makes no sense. How is he able to run? We also didn't mention that Lance Reddick is in this, and he's awesome.
Who's that?
He's
I'm pretty drunk.
Daniels from The Wire.
He's Daniels from The Wire, who was he was retiring. He's the one who's
one day till retirement.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a good counterpoint. Lance Reddick has played, has been in 2 movies this summer, in which he's a supporting character to a main action hero who is on the run and everyone's trying to kill him.
What's the other movie?
The other one is John Wick Chapter 3. Have you seen that, Nick?
No, but I've seen the first 2 and I
Guys,
love them.
that movie compared to this movie is a masterpiece. I kind of think that's a masterpiece anyway. But when you look at what John Wick is doing when he's on the run, which is literally from the off, he's like killing dudes with books. He's got his whole plan mapped out.
Gerard Butler has no plan because he was caught off guard because he was framed for a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah, John Wick had no plan either. He had to come up with his plan on the fly.
Said he had a plan.
And actually had no, but he comes up with his plan on the fly, which you slowly realise throughout the course of the movie. Gerard Butler absolutely stumbles through his fugitive status. He goes on the phone knowing that it's wiretapped to the FBI, says a little hello like, guys, I know you're on the line because I'm super smart and intelligent, but doesn't do the move which we've seen in the Bourne movies and everything, where you're looking at the clock and you hang up with 1 second to go so they can't trace your call. No, he lets them come to him. However,
I think he wanted to be chased.
No, which is fine. Which is like, okay, fine. He's got a plan. He wants to be chased. No, his plan is to get held up by 3 militiamen because everyone in America has guns. Every single civilian in this movie has a gun.
That's true.
Because America. And it's like, you're coming with us. And then he's like, gotta improvise. Takes a truck, the worst single vehicle you could take.
He takes the truck from the Coca-Cola Christmas ad.
Yes. I was thinking the same thing. Gerard Butler's coming. Gerard Butler's coming. He was literally in a lit up. He's in a truck with Christmas lights on it, driving and he's supposed to be surreptitious. Yeah. And still, I'm like, what's his plan? What's your plan, man? What's your plan? No, he's just being chased by the police and then crashes. And it's
had a plan
honestly,
to get to Nick Nolte's house.
It's a slow speed. It's the slowest speed action chase scene I've ever seen. I was so bored. And then he still has no plan. And he crashes, wakes up groggily. The FBI, the police.
It wasn't the FBI. It was local sheriff.
Well, it's incredible that they haven't caught him at this stage. And then he runs off into the forest. 4 meters ahead of the entire police force,
no, but it's not
and
the
they
entire
can't
police
find
force.
him.
It's local police for this hick town. That's all it is at that point.
Sorry, the FBI would be there in moments.
It's Washington DC, so it's Virginia. It's like, don't they have a training campus in Virginia? Like, isn't that what they all train?
That's literally where they're based.
And also the helicopter, they were like, oh, there's a tree canopy. We can't see through that. And it's just like, hang on a minute. I'm pretty sure they have heat
detectors. He's the most wanted man in the country.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't buy any of it.
He didn't have the best plan, but he used his raw survival instincts and he got through, and you wouldn't. I'm sorry, but it's true.
He also didn't achieve anything. Nick Nolte killed all the guys.
Nick Nolte was the best thing in this movie, and he's going to be nominated for an Oscar.
He knows his friend is the bad guy from the very beginning and doesn't tell anybody, even though he's on the phone to the FBI and says, hello, I know you're there, and I'm gonna prove.
But at that point, he doesn't know who's in on it, to be fair.
Who was the vice president?
I don't know why I'm defending it.
Why? The vice president was clearly a bad guy from the start.
Who was he? Who was the actor?
He's that guy.
No,
he's the kind of actor you go, I know that guy.
Guys, he's the guy, he's in Men in Black. He's one of the aliens. In the original Men in Black, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a great actor.
Guy. Okay, there was two bad guys.
Yeah, if you cast Danny Houston, who's the bad guy in this movie, he's the bad guy in Wonder Woman.
He's
the bad guy
Central
in X-Men
Casting
Origins.
bad guy.
Yeah, he's like, just like
you look at bad guy in a dictionary. Like there is a full picture of him. Like that is.
He's just like it's the laziest casting.
I understand the vice president's motivation, right? He wants to go to war and be president. That's relatively clear. I didn't understand.
Cathy gets that. Cathy's on board with that.
I know, this movie is pretty hard to follow.
Best friend's motivation as to why he wanted to frame his best friend.
Because, Cathy, the one word, lions.
Yeah.
We're lions.
He's like, clearly doesn't need the money because he's got 10 mil like lying around, and he's like, I want the adrenaline. It's like this, but it makes no sense, like to the point where
just go paintballing.
But the point where he's like,
which is what you're doing anyway.
You kind of get on board to the fact of, okay, he wants to support the vice president, get this huge contract. He's going to be a billionaire, and then he's like, we have to pull the plug because the FBI agents know who we are, right? And
yeah, so we're going to go offshore.
But then we'll go kill Morgan Freeman anyway.
Yeah, but why? Explain why.
Yeah,
and also
because at that point they were never going to benefit anything because they'd been caught by the vice president.
Exactly.
And would you take yourself, if you're
understand.
running that kind of operation, would you take yourself personally into the hospital on American soil when it's surrounded by police and be like ensuring that you
I wouldn't worry about the police. I wouldn't worry about the police. They can't.
He wasn't worried.
They can't do shit. Apparently,
they can't even find a heaving, tired, migraine-ridden Gerard Butler driving a Christmas tree truck through a forest. How are they? They're not there.
Do you notice what this movie did though as well? That was pretty poor. Was like at the start of the movie they set up what could be an intriguing background to Gerard Butler is like
Rocky 5.
No, like he's having these migraines and he's
Rocky
like
5.
Dave, excuse me, I'm saying he's having these migraines that are really interfering with his daily life and his job, right? And he's like addicted to painkillers. And then that all just ends. Like when he's on the run, he never has a migraine issue. Like he's totally fine.
He's
and in fact, that should have been what got him, like what was tripping him up. That should have been like a very decent plot point to like trip him up. But no, he was just completely fine.
That's what it should be. The bad guy should have been migraines, and the whole movie should have been him overcoming
himself,
his headaches.
I think he was good in this movie, though, Gerard Butler. I think he was much better in it than Geostorm.
Here's what I
think
like.
he was elevated by the cast.
Here's what I like about Gerard Butler. I don't think he was doing much work in this movie, but
Dave, you haven't seen Geostorm.
His jowls were doing all the work in this movie.
I like that Gerard Butler is aging normally and just looks like a normal guy, and I actually really appreciate it.
Men are allowed to age, like why Jada Pinkett Smith. It took me 3/4 of the movie. It took me 3/4 of a movie to recognise Jada Pinkett Smith. I was like, I know the voice.
Yeah, it's because she looks the same as she did 25 years ago.
It's really disconcerting, like. And the difference is actually that's just like systemic sexism in Hollywood. So it's not go Gerard Butler for aging. It's like, oh, isn't it sad that a man's allowed to age, but a woman
but
isn't?
not all men allow themselves to do that.
But you have to allow yourself, like.
So I think looking at him and Nick Nolte and all their wrinkly...
It's uncommon for a man to get like, huge levels of work done compared to women.
That's true. That is true.
Fine. Anyway, look.
Nick Nolte looked amazing.
He's had work done.
He's had a few wrinkles added in.
When Nick Nolte gave that story, that spiel about like it's the biggest regret of my life, but like you've no idea what like I saved you from by me leaving you. I was crying at that. I thought
Nick
that was
Nolte
amazing.
is wonderful in this.
I wasn't so keen on the hubris of going to the army base, and I was actually quite impressed when they just shot. Like it was quite bad and quite shocking. Yeah, but at the same time, you're just like, well, you did just fly into like a military base where you've investigated them for like war crimes by the sound of it, and kind
what did you think would happen?
Yeah, exactly.
So
that was the one moment in the movie that surprised me.
I want to look up now. I'm sure that big lake scene must have been done at Virginia Water.
Well, maybe yes.
Yeah, the opening drone thing, which was actually pretty cool, to be fair. That was a good action scene.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman just looks so confused even on the boat. He's like, why am I here?
He's like, shit, I'm sure I remember reading something about this in the daily briefing. Something about drones.
All right, Nick, you're in an emergency planner mode. It's Monday, you're back at work.
Yeah.
You get the call, all right, drone strike in Virginia Water on the President of the United States. What do you do?
Well, do you know what? When the
Pop quiz.
when the Americans come over, everyone's much more frightened about like the Secret Service and all the weapons they want to bring with them than they are actually about the risk of something happening. Because just like when they come, they bring like just a shit ton of weapons with them. But
do they come and they say like, "Have you considered drone strikes?"
Well, do you know what we have?
What's your drone strike policy?
Drones are a pain in the ass, but yeah, I did quite like that.
Well, that one drone held up Heathrow for a whole month.
What would you? Okay, we'll reverse it, Nick.
Gatwick, yeah.
You get a phone call. Someone's trying to murder Boris Johnson at Virginia Water. What do you do?
Go. Too slow. He's dead. You failed.
Oh, damn it!
Prime Minister is down.
Throw yourself on Boris Johnson to save his life.
Too late. He's dead. Too slow. You've just killed 2 Boris Johnsons.
All in a day's work. No, I can't say I have a plan for exploding drone swarms in Virginia Water on the president.
You are unprepared, my friend.
No, I'm embarrassed.
You're right. You've got an agenda item for tomorrow.
Well, thanks for inviting me, guys, to to attack my professionalism.
Got to tomorrow. Nick's in a meeting. All right, guys.
What are we doing?
I saw a movie yesterday. I've already written up the briefing.
I was asked what our plan was for a meteor strike once.
Oh,
yeah.
Did somebody see Deep Impact at the weekend?
I think that must have been it. Yeah.
All right, guys. I've just seen this movie, Inception. How the Prime Minister's dreams could be hacked at any minute.
They all talk about it on a Monday. They're like, "Oh, I wonder what film he's watched this weekend." It's gonna be weird.
One of my favourite lines in this movie was when Gerard Butler, when the computers start going funny at the hospital, and then the woman says, "Do you know what? This is funny. They never do this. You know, They normally work perfectly. They almost never crash." And then and he's like, "Yeah."
Normally
and then he goes to the guy. He's like, "Check for hacks."
Yeah.
Go on the computer and check for hacks.
He goes, check for the IP address of this company. It's like, you can't just type in a company and get all of its IP addresses.
Yeah, and he does it in 2 seconds. And he's like, "I've checked for hacks."
Yeah.
There's no hacks.
And also, there's a bit where the baddies are like trying to explode the hospital by leaking loads of gas into it. So like, I mean, I could have figured that out at that point. And they start evacuating the hospital and the baddies in the van, and he's like, "My God, Jared's onto us." It's like, no.
It's like, damn you, Banning, you figured it out.
Could have figured that out.
There's like visible. For some reason, the gas is visible. It's pouring out of the vents.
They evacuated that hospital like really efficiently, like really quickly, and then they blew it up anyway. And the president wasn't in it. I was like, who are these bad guys that are just willing to come in and just like get themselves murdered to try and murder the president in a hospital?
You're right. What's their goal at this stage? Like, they've been paid, and they're about to be closed in on the FBI. Like, their plan is to head further.
Like, it was easy. Like, the first one, you make sense from it. Like, from their point of view, fine. You're doing drone strikes. You're ages away. You're framing someone else. I'm fine with that if I was in that mode. I don't want to be myself physically in a hospital trying to shoot the president. Like, that's a very different proposition.
Yeah, that's quite a leap ahead.
Yeah, you need to pay me a lot more money to do that, and I don't get that impression. But we better go because it's really cold, surprisingly.
All right.
Nick, thank you for coming back again.
My pleasure. I love it. I love being grilled about how I'd respond to major Hollywood blockbusters.
There's a separate podcast in this which you need to make, which is how to survive real Hollywood incidents in real life, and then you can put together detailed strategies.
The problem is Nick's now been on 3 times, so as per our contractual Cinemile agreements, if he's on for a 4th time, he gets upgraded to a regular guest star, and his fee greatly increases.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yes.
we buy you 2 beers next time.
Amazing. I'll be even more coherent.
Have you updated your LinkedIn profile to Gerard Butler, correspondent?
Straight to the top of the list.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks, Nick.
thanks,
If this is your first time listening to us, I'm sorry.
So very sorry.
Sorry, we're a bit all over the place. But you can follow. You can hear more of our podcast. Search the Cinemile or whatever your podcast app is. Please subscribe. You can leave us a nice review if you don't mind. If there's a review section, we also have a Patreon. If you'd like to support us, and you get loads of extra content in there. We have a whole other bonus podcast feed which you get access to, which is loads of retro movie reviews and TV reviews. We're going to do Mindhunter next week. Season 2.
Yeah, we've just been telling Nick he needs to watch it. Get on it, Nick.
And you all need to watch it as well if you're not already watching it. And then Succession Season 2, which we're very excited about. Excited.
Oh, David,
which
pro?
Dave, you just did a long plug. I'm impressed.
That's pretty good, right?
That's pretty good.
Breathe that off, and not a single curse word. See, you can deliver dialogue without curse words.
Fucking nailed it.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Really?
You're welcome.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
I'm Jessie Cruikshank, and I've always been told I have a face for podcasting. So I launched a podcast. It's called Phone a Friend because each week I'll break down the biggest stories in pop culture. But when I have questions, I get to phone a friend. I'll phone a royal watcher to find out why Prince Harry is acting like a real housewife. I'll phone a tween to please explain Euphoria. And maybe I'll even phone a Backstreet Boy to find out if I still have a chance. I don't? Okay. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.